Hey folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm talking to Luke Lovejoy right now.
Guy is.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 2018 National Flat Pick Champion, that guy. And I hate to say it, man, I can't even name all the rest of these awards here. I was doing some housekeeping beforehand, and I'm looking at, let's see. Tell me if I missed anything here. I've got third place in 2024 for National Flat Pick Championship. You were a runner up this year as well, right? One of the finalists.
Sure, yeah.
2023, third place in the National Mandolin Championship, second place in 2019, 2019 Rockygrass Guitar Champion, 2018 National Flat Pick Champion. Did I miss anything?
No, man, that's all the big ones, man. Yeah, I didn't think I'd make it this far, so that about catches us up.
That's great, man. Well, yeah, I know that like I said, I feel like it was such a whirlwind at Winfield this year. The contest happened. That was like my first time back at the contest since 2008. And what a pleasure to get to meet you guys and, get my butt kicked by all of you and all that stuff. But seriously, Luke, I feel like we had some great chemistry backstage, especially during the nerve-wracking, after they announced the finalists and everything. We're all waiting and yucking it up, and you just seem like a great personality, dude, and it's good to know you.
Oh, thanks, Hayes. That was a lot of fun, man. I still got the shoe print that you left in my butt after taking up second, man. that was I gotta say, man, that was about the funnest contest I've been in, and it was, man, I had a blast with you and Eric, who won. He's just awesome. It was just a tough competition this year. It was Vamp Stout. It was awesome. I mean, I was tickled to death to make it in the top 5. And then man, me and Eric were actually off to the side stage listening to you play. And was it Down Yonder was one of yours?
Oh, are you thinking about Interstate Rag, that first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was man, that was awesome. We were just sitting there listening on the side, like, man, this is great. Yeah, and Steve Lewis, those guys hanging out backstage. It was just so much fun. Then we did the acoustic shop thing that night. I had a blast, man. But it was, I'm a pretty competitive guy, but I was never happier to get third place in my life, man. It was a lot of fun. Hayes, I had a good time meeting you, man. I even stole some of your licks and still trying to use them. And
oh, dude, I think that's the great thing about the camaraderie of the flat pick contest. We can all be friends at the end, but we're totally stealing each other's licks. I definitely grabbed a few off of you too, man.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah. I enjoy the not taking it, you take it serious, but not, it's a competition, but you're not at each other's throats or, everybody. It was a good experience this year. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's what they
man.
should all be like.
I mean, that's cool to hear you say that too, because I think one of the things, like I said, this was my first time back at Winfield in 16 years or something like that. And one of the things that you always hear people say that I feel like they never actually go to the contest, but they always talk about it being this really, why is music competitive? It's really weird that it's competitive, but there was a different kind of vibe at Winfield than that. You know what I mean? It's more like you're I got the sense that everyone was competing with themselves there. And then, you know what I mean? We were kind of there for the hang otherwise. But what do you think about that, man?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, your biggest enemy, especially in those kind of circumstances, will be yourself, man. Just nerves kick in. And there's something about that stage at Winfield, man. Stage 4, you get in that chair and you can run over stuff. I've never been I don't recommend my routine of getting ready for a contest to anybody. I'm kind of a more off the seat of my pants, type of guy. I usually don't have arrangements nailed down. I have an idea what I want to do or kind of have the shell, but I've never been good at arranging stuff note for note. For me, it takes a little bit out for me. I'll know what I want to do, but having it arranged just for my style. I never have note for note stuff figured out. Man, I respect guys that can do that, but I've been in contests that man, you're nervous anyways, to be there, but then you can run into guys that are taking it pretty serious, or you're talking backstage or whatever, you're warming up and they're like, You know,
Oh yeah,
uh,
turning their fingerboards away and all that
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff,
I've
right?
ran
Yeah.
into that, and that's no fun for anybody. You know, I'm there to have a good time and enjoy it, and yeah, man, you made all kind. The friends you make through the music is just awesome, and the connections and stuff. It's just so much fun. Um, but yeah, back to your question, I think this year was the funnest contest I'd had. It was just a great experience. Great vibe hanging out backstage, and everybody was super cool and relaxed. Even amidst the maybe on the inside, I know I was a little kind of is
Oh,
the inside. I was still nervous, but everybody was really cool, man. I was happy to see that. But it can. I've been in the other contests where it's you're nervous and it won't be as fun, because everybody else is a little tighter. But
absolutely, man. Like you said, it's kind of like, you know, your greatest enemy is yourself, and the only thing you can do is go up there and play what you got. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If
yeah,
like, yeah. Well, man, like kind of speaking about your experience and wisdom in the contest world, let's go all the way back to the beginning, dude. Like, so
yeah,
the
yes,
people on,
sir.
on my channel, I want to know the full story. So like obviously you've been I first started seeing videos of you when you were like 16, I think, when you first started like kind of winning contests and stuff like that. So like where are you from, when did you start playing, all that kind of stuff, man? Well, give me the rundown that way.
Yeah, Winfield has made me the has been I am today.
Yeah. Oh, old man Lovejoy, right? Yeah, he's like yeah, yeah, what are you, 22 now or something
yes,
like that?
sir. Yeah, most I was taking it all back. I was born at a very early age, and no, man. I started playing music when I was 12 years old. I'd always wanted to play, love music. Just since I remember seeing a guitar on the TV or something, country music. I see Alan Jackson with a guitar on stage or something. I'm like, man, that's the coolest thing ever. Since I remember 4 or 5 years old, I just remember seeing a guitar and being like, man, that's awesome. I want to do that. And my father, my dad, he's a preacher, and we were actually at a church. He was filling in, he was preaching at church, and I was 11, 12 years old, and I'd just been begging mom and dad for a guitar, and couldn't afford lessons. So we met this piano player at a church, and she's like, any of your kids play music? And my dad was like, well, my youngest son Luke, he's wanting to play the guitar. But we didn't know anybody that gave lessons in the area and couldn't really afford any of them. But this lady hooked us up with a guy in my hometown. I grew up in Cloverdale, Indiana, guy named Alvy Schrader. And I got a guitar, and Alvy taught me G, C, and D. He taught me the roots and taught me how to pick Amazing Grace, and really got me started out and on that path. And the rest after that's getting out in jams, picking, and a lot of YouTube, a lot of Banjo Ben, and even some stuff with lessons with Marcel and all that stuff, man.
That's great, man.
Um, yeah, a lot of YouTube stuff, getting out picking. Then I met a good friend of mine. My best buddy now has been my biggest encourager. Getting to meet him. I was 14 years old. I met a guy named Ethan Batan, and he won mandolin actually last year at Winfield. And he was the first like really good musician I would start hanging out with. That I was always like, man, made me want to learn more, and made me want to, I'd hear him play something like, man, that's cool. I want to do that. But met him. That was a big part of my musical growth. Ages 14 to where I am now has been my buddy Ethan. He's been a great encourager. But make a long story, try and shorten it up. Through Ethan, I met a guy named Solly Burton. Solly Burton is now four-time national mandolin champion. He just won last month. But through Ethan's teacher was Solly Burton, so I met Solly, and he got us hooked up with Winfield and everything. And I was 16 years old, and I had been taking some kind of unofficial lessons from a guy in town in Crawfordsville for about a year or so. A guy named Dave Denman. He was a big part of my musical growth as well too, and my really shapeable years of learning and getting my technique down, and just kind of forming my sound. I met a guy named Dave Denman before I went out to Winfield, and he's an amazing musician. He passed away now, but he's a good friend, amazing musician. Um, yeah, and he kind of helped me get ready for some stuff, and went out to Winfield back in 2018. Solly talked me and Ethan into going out to it, and he talked me into doing the contest. I didn't have any business being in it or getting to do
Well,
it, and
history would say differently, my
no,
friend.
no, man, I was very fortunate and blessed enough to win Winfield in 2018, which was just like uh unbelievable. It was bigger than a dream come true because I didn't even really dream that it would happen. Um, but it was, yeah, it was amazing. That yeah, it was life changing. It was awesome going out to Winfield in 18 and used up all my luck then, and been uh
Oh,
been
now
trying
you
my
just
luck
get to
at it
come
ever
back and win
since.
guitars every year, right, man?
Yeah.
That's the Alan Shadd always said that second place and third place were the best at Winfield, you know what I mean? Because you just,
I'm
yeah, went home with a guitar and you got to go back next year, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Well, man, it's great to hear that story because I was going to ask about Sully and Ethan because I could tell that you guys were really close at Winfield this year. It was hilarious watching the mandolin contest this year because you guys just like literally got up and like swapped spots and like sat back down, like between your final rounds there. I thought, like, yeah, we were cracking up in the audience over that one, man. That was great.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of fun with Sully, man. He's a good buddy, good dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm lucky enough. He's only about an hour from me, and he's just one thing I can fangirl on Sully Burton all day long. But one of the things I always, man, anybody I encourage you to go listen to Sully Burton. He's got such a listenable style of music is what I always take away from him. Because you can be great, you can be musical, you can play a million notes, you'll catch musicians' ear, but kind of the standard audience will be like, oh, that's cool, but I like simple John Denver 3 chord stuff,
Yeah.
Um, but one thing I gotta say about Solly's playing is it's just so fun as a musician to listen to him because he's playing all this great stuff, but also just as a listener, he's so easy to listen to of a player. I love that about his style. It's so cool.
I totally agree with you, man. That version of What a Wonderful World that he
Oh,
did, like, yeah, that takes you
tearjerker.
on a
Yeah.
journey, right?
Yeah.
Like just watching his whole because he starts in slow time, you know what I mean, and like in the waltz and then goes into like,
Yeah.
double
Yeah.
time 4/4 feel, like such an amazing arranger and sensitive musician. Yeah, I'm totally with you, man. Well, I was going to ask you, there was this interesting so 2018, like if we go back to the national championship, like I was looking at the list that year and second and third place were Jason Shaw and Roy
Yes.
Curry. like
Dude,
like
I was so
two multi-time like Winfield champions, right? So how did that feel, man? That had that had to have
I
been something,
dude,
right?
I was so excited to meet Roy Curry that day. And we talked about kind of the stiff atmosphere it can be like. Man, there were a couple guys that day, that I was like, oh, I've watched them on YouTube, all the time. Like, and I got to meet some of the guys, and some of them weren't. I was like, I was a 16-year-old kid, man. I was like, I was in heaven, and I was like, these guys were all my heroes.
Yep.
And I met some guys that I was a little disappointed with. They say never meet your heroes. There were some guys where I was like, oh man, really? Because I'm just 16-year-old with a guitar. Everybody walks by like, oh, make way for the men. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
which, like I said, I didn't have any business being there, but it didn't stop me anyways. but
Oh man, being the dark horse is a good thing in that way, right? You know what I
yeah,
mean? This
yeah.
unsuspecting 16-year-old kid that's about to whoop on multi-time winners, you know?
But it was, oh man, it was so cool. Get Roy Curry, dude. I shook his hand. I was nervous getting to. I was like, "That's Roy Curry, man." I love his playing, and I got to meet Roy backstage, and it was so cool because from the moment I met him, just walking in the warm up area, he was the same to me. The moment I shook his hand till after I won and all that. And Jason's incredibly nice guy too. I met those guys and they treated me the same. After I won, they were kind of, kind of some guys, treat me a little different stuff, but those guys were, even kill the whole time, which I just thought was super cool.
Yeah, and
But
because they get it, right?
yeah,
Because as
yeah,
winners, you know what I mean? Like I've met Roy before, and he's total down to earth guy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
very normal dude. So that's cool to hear.
It wasn't like feelings like, haha, I beat these guys. It was like, man, they were super cool. It was a very humbling experience to get to compete with them, and I just happened to be lucky enough that day to win. But it was man, it was just a really cool experience. It was awesome.
That's so great to hear, Luke. Yeah, man. Well, congrats on that. Obviously, like you said, life changed in a big way after 2018 because all of us knew about you after that, right? You know, that's I was gonna ask too real quick. I saw that article that Bourgeois put out like about the guitar that you borrowed that year. That seemed like kind of a funny story. Is there anything you want to say about that? If not, we can like cut it from the
Yes,
video.
sir, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, Bourgeois was awesome that day. They were a very incremental part in and me winning that contest. Actually, I should say that's why I'm holding a Martin now. But
Yeah.
um,
Hey, we
but
like all of them, right? Yeah, they're
no, I
all
like
good,
all of them,
baby.
man.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, but no, man. There's a guy with Bourgeois at the time. James Cook, man. I got to Winfield, Kansas early that week. I believe we got there on Thursday. Guitar contest is Saturday. I had a guitar with me. It was a cheaper, I believe it was a Blue Ridge. And it was just having it was, decent guitar. It's what I had at the time was playing. But it was having some intonation issues. I took it out to Kansas. And it was just, the bridge was doing funky things. And,
Kansas does
uh,
weird things to instruments, man.
yeah, yeah. And I got out there and I was like, oh crap, but I was going to make do with what I had. And, Bourgeois had a booth set up that year, and I was just hanging out over there all the time because I was playing their guitars, and one guitar in particular was like a country boy um, style with a couple different appointments,
Mhm.
mahogany, D18 bourgeois, and I loved it. I was playing it all week, and I was like, this is a kid in a candy store. This is awesome, getting to play the guitars. And I started talking to James at Bourgeois, and he's like, "Hey, you gonna do the contest?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to." And he's like, "Oh, what guitar are you playing?" And I pulled out, my guitar bridges coming up, and just gunk all over the fingerboard. I was like, this is what I got. I was kind of embarrassed to pull it out, at the Bourgeois booth. Um, he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." He's like, "Well, yeah, I think this was a Thursday. No, this would have been on Friday." He's like, "Well, I'll tell you what," he's like, "you all the guitars I have displayed. He's like, out of all these guitars, man, he's like, you can pick any one of them you can use for the contest. Just bring it back to us." And I was like, 16-year-old kid. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, yeah. Which one do you like? So I told him, that D18 I was playing, and I was like, man, I love this thing, man. This is awesome. He's like, all right, meet me at so and so place, so and so time. I'll drop it off to you before the contest. And I was freaking out, like, no way, no way. So yeah, he met me the morning before the contest, and I was expecting him to kind of follow me around, be over my shoulder the whole time. Being a 16-year-old kid walking around at a music festival,
Yeah, with like what, a $6,000 guitar or whatever it was, you know what I mean? Yeah, like
And I met him. He dropped it off to me. He said, "All right, man, here you go. Good luck." Just walked off. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do now?" So I used that guitar. Used that guitar for the contest. Was lucky enough to win, and with the contest money I got, I went and bought that guitar. And that has been my main axe for since 2018. Yeah, for 6 years now.
that's so cool, man. I love that. Like it's not only did you win the national championship, which you got a good guitar for as well, right? I think did
Yeah,
you pick
yes,
the Winfield that year?
I got the Collings CW, which is my dream
Yeah.
guitar, man. I love it. That's a fantastic guitar too. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, what
Well, I
you
was
got
gonna
this year? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was gonna say I got mine right next to me too. I'm
Oh,
like
no way.
absolutely in love with this thing, man. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Sweet.
Yeah. Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
It's we're in the club, I guess, right? That's
Yeah, so I was about to say this is the one I got this year. That's really cool, man. You're on
yeah,
there.
dude.
That's
That thing sounded killer, by the way, too. I was loving the your tone on the set that unfortunately got cut short this year due to the lightning and stuff. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, this is a great guitar too. I'm loving it, man. It's great. It's got a pickup in it too, which is sweet.
Yeah,
Super.
man, when you don't have to install one of those yourself, that's like, yeah, you never argue with that. I was gonna ask too, man, after the national championship that you won in 2018, you went out to Rockygrass that next year, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I went out with Ethan actually. Ethan Batan,
Yeah.
my buddy. He talked in it. He wanted to go do mandolin. He's like, dude, you should go. He's like, since we were on fire at the time, like, man, see if you got any luck left
Yeah,
over.
keep that train rolling, right?
Yeah. And it was yeah, we went out to Rocky Grass in 2019. That was a lot of fun. Got to see Del McCurry live for the first time, which was like
Can't beat that.
unbelievable experience. Great, but yeah, was able to win guitar out there, which was super cool. I used my bourgeois and won a Preston Thompson guitar, which I also fell in love with. Was amazing. Make a long story short, that guitar actually got stolen from me a couple years ago. Yeah, it was a.
Oh,
If you see number 1611, Preston Thompson, Sinker mahogany guitar out there, anybody, that's mine. If you see it on the market, but
no.
yeah, but it's actually cool. The guitar I was playing out at Kansas, Miss Christine Funk and everybody at Preston Thompson Guitars, we worked together, and I bought a replacement guitar for the one that got stolen. That's the one I was playing this year.
That's awesome, man. That's so good. Because I honestly, I assumed that that's what that guitar was, but
Yeah,
then, yeah, man, I'm so sad to hear. Where did it get stolen, if you don't mind me asking?
it got stolen from my place in Indiana. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Some guy hitting up the street, busted through the back window and thought he needed it more than I did, and
Man. And this is what
yeah,
I like. I'll go ahead and give my stump speech about this. I'm sure you already said and thought all this, but it's like that dude just stole a custom guitar that is like so easily identifiable. You can't do
yeah,
anything with it, man. You know
I
what I mean? It's
know.
like take my TV and
Yeah,
everything else, but like because now you're just gonna have to sit on that guitar.
yep,
Like if he sells it, he's a dead man. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like
absolutely, yeah. Like you can't take that to a pawn shop. You know what I mean?
no,
Like, and so I'm like, well, it's sitting underneath the bed somewhere. But it's what
yeah,
it is, But
yeah,
the good
dude.
news is I got a replacement guitar that the other one I got stolen is a great guitar, but I actually kind of like the replacement one even better. So it kind of worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, that's just the way it was supposed to end up, I guess, right?
yeah, yeah, away it goes. But
So I had some other stuff written down here that I thought about asking you.
yeah,
Like to get to like actually your playing style and stuff. I didn't know if you actually wanted to play something for me, by the
yeah,
way.
absolutely,
Um,
yeah.
but your playing style was like so powerful, dude. Like
Oh man,
fat, like dropping tone bombs, you know what I mean? Just like full aggressive sounding guitar, man. Like I couldn't, couldn't believe the sound that you were getting on that thing. Like who are your influences and that kind of stuff? I know you talked about, some of your early teachers and stuff, but as far as like who you're listening to and stealing licks from, like what's kind of your main bag?
yeah, yes, sir, absolutely. My favorite guitar player, my absolute number one favorite guy is a guy a little less known somehow. I don't know why everybody's not talking about him, but my favorite guy is a guy out in Ohio, Clay Hess. I'm a Clay Hess nut, man. Love his style, love his playing. Stole a ton of his stuff, especially when I was 16, 17. I was doing a lot of his stuff. Man, I love his tone. Um,
That
my
makes so
top,
much sense now that you say that, man. Just
yeah.
hearing you and because Clay's a powerful guy too, right?
Oh
Like,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And man, my top three right now, my top three guys. Well, I say three. I'm gonna have to pick five. I'm gonna have to pick five guys. Not in any particular order. Clay Hess, Brian Sutton, Jake Workman, Kenny Smith, and Cody Kilby. Man, those
That's a
guys are.
yeah, that's a
But
powerful quintet, my friend. Like
well, then
that's yeah.
there's so many mentions. Zeb Snyder's one of my favorites. Man, he's a killer. Just rip your face off player. Yeah, there's a lot of contest guys I listen to. Andy Houtfield. I listen to a ton of Alan Shadd. I'll be honest. I hope Alan doesn't see this. But listen to a ton of Alan Shadd,
Oh,
man.
I saw him calling you out on was it in the comments to the
He
I went back and rewatched the stream and he was like, "That's my lick."
we, oh yeah, Alan's a good dude. He's a good buddy, man. I like Alan. And I'm embarrassed to say I listen to a lot of Alan Shadd, but um,
Uh,
but man, some of my big influences was like that guy I mentioned before, Dave Denman.
mhm.
He had some of the best guitar tone I ever heard anybody pull out of a guitar. Yeah, that was a big influence on me. Getting to hang out and learn from Dave was his tone. Um, I'm a huge Eric Harden fan, man. The way his sitting next to him and Steve Lewis at Winfield this year was like one of my favorite takeaways because they're just tonal.
Sitting between two cannons, right? Like it's
Yes, yes, tonal powerhouses. But no, man, try to focus a lot on one of my big emphasis is being tone in my playing. Oh man, I love it. But man, I love your style. You got that. I play way too hard, and I'm always, tightening out. Man, you got this. You got one of them floaty touches going on, man. That is just awesome. I love that stuff. I can't do it, but
it's
that's
okay until people want to hear you. It's a great
well,
technique unless you want to be heard, you know? No, that's
yeah. Well, you can either be good or you can be heard. But
That's great, man. No, I appreciate the compliment, Luke. That means a lot, man. That's one of the fun things about going to those contests too, right? Like there's so many different, I think there is like a contest style, right? Because
mm,
I think a lot of my heroes are the same as yours, like Alan Shadd, Roy Curry, Robert
yeah, right.
Schaefer,
Yeah,
you know,
Robert. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, all those guys, and there is this kind of like set of parameters that like contest players have, but I mean each one of them is so different. Like Robert's got all that Telecaster and kind of like Western swing type of
Oh
influence, right?
yes, yeah.
So there's like so many different flavors of contest player out there, and you definitely got your own flavor too, man. It's
For
great to
better or
listen to.
for worse.
Yeah.
Here to stay.
That's amazing, man. Well, what are you doing these days besides contest playing with your music? Are you and Ethan playing out and stuff, or do you have any gigs, that kind of thing going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, sir. We had a crazy busy year. Me and Ethan and his sister Savannah Batan, we're all in a band called Blue Flame Music. We're on Facebook. We just do a lot of local stuff. We all three have full time jobs, working
Yeah.
everything. So we love fitting music in, and we were very blessed to have a extremely busy year this year, playing out and some local stuff, some out of the state stuff. We really enjoyed and love doing it, man. So that's what I'm up to musically right now. Blue Flame Music. We've been like I said, we've been extremely busy, which has been awesome. But
That's
things are
so
kind of
cool, man.
slowing down right now. Ethan just got married a couple weeks ago, and we're kind of settling into fall and kind of laying back a little bit, which will be nice. And yeah,
Time to
yeah,
think
that's
about
what.
what tunes you're playing next year at Winfield, right?
That's right. Start thinking about next year. Yeah.
Well, crap, dude. I mean, I'm kind of running to the end of my list. Is there anything you wanted to talk about or anything like, from Winfield or anything like that you wanted to mention in the video? If not, I'll just ask you to play something for me. But
Oh
yeah.
yeah, man. I'll do a quick shout out to Blue Chip Picks. That's all I use. I think that's all a lot of guys use them. And
Yeah.
I know Tone Slab. I've seen a lot of guys. I think you're a Tone Slab guy now, aren't you?
Got my HG tone slab right there. But I
Yeah, man.
gotta say,
Yeah,
like, and Frank won't hate on this. You know what I mean? There's a
uh-huh,
CT55 right next to it. That's
uh-huh.
it's a yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm a Blue Chip guy. I love actually Kenny Smith Blue Chips. Talking about Kenny. Yeah, Blue Chip. I'd like to thank Paige Capos for what they did for the contest, sponsoring the contest. That was super cool, super awesome. Blessed to get this Martin guitar, which was awesome, provided by Sparks Music and D Dario. If you guys are looking for a sponsorship, looking for somebody else to take on, I use a
Yeah,
lot of your strings.
same. Yeah, give us both a shout.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll love you forever.
hmm that's right. That's right. No, but man, I was tickled to death. You yeah, want give me a call, and this has been really cool, man. Yeah, loved your style, dude. It's awesome hearing you at Winfield. The songs were great. I mean, it was awesome. It was a great year.
I appreciate you saying that, man, and I agree with you. It was like I said, I didn't know quite what to expect because I hadn't been there in so long. You were talking about Shad, so the last time I was there was 2008, and he backed me up in the contest.
Ah, dude, that's awesome. That's
We've been
awesome.
pals for a while, but this is the first time I've gone back to Winfield, so it was kind of fun to place, you know what I mean, and actually do something because I looked up to all those guys so much.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. It's cool to meet your heroes, and then yeah, getting to hang out with them and stuff. It's really cool. What can happen through that stuff.
Well, Luke, do you want to pick a tune for me, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
pick it
what's
up.
I won't make you give away any of your secrets there, you know what I mean? But
Wait, there we go. I'll just play like that. There we go.
well, Luke, it's been a hell of a time talking to you, man. I really love
Absolutely,
chatting with you,
buddy.
buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I'm hoping we're only one state away, man. We got to make like some kind of, some jam or something happen here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, make something
Yeah.
happen. You're not too far away, so y'all
Nah,
done a
what would
lot
it
more
be?
for a
About
lot
four
less.
hours or
So
something like that?
yeah, yeah, that's not bad at all for musicians, man. I
No,
mean,
man.
that's a hop, skip, and a jump. So not bad at all. But Hayes, dude, yeah, I had a blast beating you out at Winfield and fun hanging out with you backstage. It was awesome, man. And
Yeah, same, Luke. It's cool to know you and all that stuff. And just like all the other Winfield pals that I have, I know it's you're not gonna get rid of me for a while, man.
that's right. Same time next year, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, we'll see. Yeah, same time, same bat channel. We'll see you there, dude. The hotel's booked, brother. I'm
All right.
going.
Awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
that's fun, man. Thanks for having me on today, man. This is a big treat for me, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, no problem, Luke. Well, I really appreciate it, bro. And if you got anything going on and you want to hop back on the channel sometime, just give me a shout, man. We'll
Absolutely.
schedule another Zoom.
Yeah, yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, Hayes, keep up the good work, buddy. I love your content and watching your stuff, man. It's really cool. That's awesome.
Thanks, bro. Awesome, Luke. Well, it's great chatting with you. This was a blast.
Sweet. Thanks for the call, buddy. We'll talk to you, Hayes.
Yeah. Take it easy,
See
man.
you, man.
Bye. All right, folks, there you have it. My buddy Luke Lovejoy, the third place winner from 2024 National Flat Pick Championship, but the 2018 National Flat Pick Champion. Really appreciate you, Luke. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Check out links below in the description for all of Luke's projects, and don't go anywhere. We've got more great videos right here.